Bringing challenge back to Destiny. Here we have another update, this time coming from our world's system team and focusing on the changes coming not only to Vanguard Ops, but also Nightfall, raid, dungeons, and more. Nightfall is almost upon us. Yes, it is. Can't freaking wait. And a lot is changing in the game. Proof that is the build crafting abilities, weapons, sandbox, and weapon crafting. We also wanted to share some details on how we're improving several activities in order to better reward your efforts, especially when you face the hardest content Destiny 2 has to offer. Are you telling me that what I'm about to read is double loot for every GM every season all the time? Maybe. We get more XP the higher tier levels we go? Maybe. Let's see. Everything hurts now. How much? Well, that depends on you. Philosophically, we are attempting to bring the difficulty levels of Legend closer to the popular Legendary campaign experience, and the Master experience closer to day one raids. At the same time, any high difficulty ritual content is designed to last many playthroughs over multiple seasons. So we're making some changes week over week and seasons over season to keep them fresh. If you want to keep something fresh, you gotta give us new stuff. That's what makes it fresh. You know, I have nothing against Lake of Shadows coming back and you guys reworking it. You're basically, I feel like you're gonna time gate the boss, but still, that's not really fresh. New is always fresh, Bungie. New. Here's a breakdown. The change coming to several high difficulty activities starting with Nightfall. Before we read this, I just want to say this. Knowledge is also power creep. Okay, I know people say resilience is busted and it does this and does that. You know what else does this and does that? Doing something for multiple seasons. You end up knowing where the enemy's gonna spawn, what they're gonna do, whose health is doing what, and guess what? That's also a power creep. You can go in there with no resilience, no recovery. As long as you know what's coming up, you can work on it. So maybe they'll fix that in this next thing I'm about to read here by giving us new stuff all the time. Let's see. The basic of high difficulty activities. Adept difficulty is being removed. Hero difficulty will now be available at 1750 power, the soft cap. We are going up almost 200 levels. Legend and Master difficulties can be entered once you hit 1800 power, which is the power cap. Activity levels for Season 20. Hero is 1770. Legend is 1830. Master is 1840. Before you get in the comments and you get salted by me being negative, why do we always have to be weaker in terms of power for the game to be hard? Why can't the game be hard even if the enemy's not a red border? You know? Hear me out. If we're on the level, what's the point of me going out there and getting light level? What is the point of me chasing my power levels and my pinnacle levels? What is the point if I'm always going to be under level? Bungie, why am I leveling if I'm always going to be under leveled? The game should feel hard, not because of power disadvantage. Doesn't make any sense to me. You're working on your power level so you can feel stronger. But then I'm working all this power level to go to an activity that I'm still 25 levels under for me to get backhanded. What? You call me negative all you want. What? We're implementing power level disadvantages to provide a better challenge curve. Why is the game being more challenging because of us being on the level, man? Hero, -5 power level. Legend, -15 power levels. Master, -20 power levels. Grandmaster, -25. Match game is being removed. Mismatch shields will now take 50% less damage across the whole game. Burns of high level activities will be split into surges and threats. Surges increase your outgoing damage. Surges increase elemental damage dealt by 25. Surges for high difficulty activities change every season based around featured damage types. Featured surge for Seasonal Defiance will be Strand. Weekly rotating surges will be Solar and Void. Threats increase elemental damage coming in from enemies by 25%. Okay, so they took it away from being 50 to 25. Kinetic damage is also increased by 25 if using a Surging class. Seasonal Defiance, if you have a Strand weapon or if you have a weapon with Osmosis, that's going to work well together. Overcharged weapons can come from several sources. Currently, weapons set per activity. Weapons featured as champion counters on a seasonal artifact. Overcharges and surges do not stack. Overcharged weapons do not get extra damage if they're also surging. You only need one for a given damage source. So the power fantasy is being taken away once again, right? Why can't I be overcharged and still have the surge stuff? What's the point of you giving me a surge thing for the week? Whatever. It's like debuffs and buffs, right? You can't stack buffs. You can't stack debuffs. It's going to be 1-in-1. Commands are harder to stagger and their health have increased across the board. Hear me out. They're harder to stagger and their health have increased across the board. Why do we need to be under-leveled when you are giving us this thing that we need to level up to? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm still like, I'm looking at a wall. Like, there's just a huge wall, and I'm looking at it. And I just want to know why we need a power level at all if our asses are just going to be handed down 5, 10, 15 or whatever, 20, 25 levels. This is to compensate for surge and overcharge. You can't just have a positive and then add the negative. You know what that does? A positive and negative? It evens it out, right? You have the surge and overcharge, which are supposed to make us feel powerful, but then you're making the enemies harder to stagger to compensate. So what's the difference between me having this up and me not having it up? Now it means that the combat is going to beat my ass? I thought that was supposed to be a plus, right? To make us... Maybe I'm just an idiot, right? I thought these were like maybe, buffs, right? The effect is strong on powerful enemies and weakest on rank and file. Okay. What is not changing? Equipment is still locked on Legend and Master difficulties as well as Grandmaster Nightfalls. Matchmaking is still available on Hero but closed on Legend, Master, and Grandmaster. Modifiers that affect enemy types, Fire Pit, for example, or Fire Team Coordination, Chaff, Togetherness. Togetherness gotta go. Throw that shit out the window. Just throw it out the window, B. You're putting us... We're under level. Now you expect us to stick together so we can die together, bro. And the next thing I know, you're going to throw in Grounded too. Just throw Togetherness out the window, B. Champion availability remains the same. Grandmaster Nightfall's revive limitations, wipe conditions, and schedule stay the same. The high score strikes back. Ritual activities are at the core of Destiny 2 experience. That's why we have plans to improve on these familiar playlists that we all cherish so much today. We're focused on a Vanguard Ops playlist. Strike refreshes. Bro, I'm sorry to say this. If you're going to refresh strikes, bring some out of the DCV, there's a bunch of strikes in the DCV, just bring those out. You know what I mean? Make new strikes. You guys always hype up how you guys, you have all these ideas and you want to see the game do well. You want us to play the game the way that we want to. Well, new strikes, new Crucible maps, those will work. That kind of negates the power creep for a little bit because people have new stuff to do. That's what made Lightblade fun when it first came out. That's what made Proving Ground fun when it first came out. New GM Adept weapons that are not already in the game, that are not past Nightfall weapons, that are not Destiny 1 weapons, just new weapons. Lake of Shadows and Arms Dealer are being updated with new enemies, new encounter, new mechanics, and new objectives. Yes, more than likely you're going to Healthgate the boss. Cool. Expect them to be much tougher than before and less Sparrow friendly. I mean, nothing in this game is Sparrow friendly. You get on your Sparrow, you're going to die to a red bar. Like, you're like a piece of paper. So that's fine. We're working on adjusting other strikes, like Exodus Crash and Inverted Spire. Bruh, yo, take that energy and put it on new strikes. Am I the only one that's seeing this? Am I the only one that's going crazy? Why are we still working on strikes that's been in the game since the beginning? Am I going crazy? Look, if you're on the YouTube side of things, all right, hear me out. It's Valentine's Day, and your partner's like, yo, you gonna get some of this tonight for Valentine's Day. What you mean? You gave me some last night, all right? I don't care if you change the lingerie. No, I already had it. Why? I'm tired. I just want to cuddle now, all right? Just cuddle me, B, all right? F that. You gave me that last night. You know what I haven't done? Let's go to Disney World or something. Let's go hiking. Let's go do something we never done. Bungie, I want new strikes, bro. You know what? It's all good. So Exodus Crash and Inverted, hear me out, right? They bring these strikes back, right? And they're new. They've been redone. After a while, we're going to get sick of it. And what are they going to do? They're going to redo those strikes again? I'd rather them bring something back from Destiny 1 that we haven't played in years. Like Wretched Eye, or, Alaku is basically Lightblade. Like, just other things that we haven't touched in a long time that maybe new Destiny 2 players have never faced before. The presence on the Vanguard Ops place has been dramatically reduced. They won't be part of the Nightfall rotation until brought to parity. Vanguard Ops playlist. PsyOp Battlegrounds and Heist Battlegrounds will become part of the Vanguard Ops playlist. This playlist is now power disabled, like Gambit and Crucible. This means you won't have a damage advantage over enemies or them upon you, no matter your power level. Daily rotators and weekly singes have been removed and replaced with one random weekly surge, one random daily threat, one daily random modifier from my best of collection, including subtle foes, lightning crystals, and more. Vanguard Ops scoring. Does this really matter? We're adding score to the Vanguard playlist just like in Nightfalls. You earn points for killing enemies and other events. Precision kills, picking up orbs, reviving. Yeah, but the Vanguard playlist score doesn't matter. So I'm guessing they're trying to make that matter. The higher you score, the larger your Vanguard rank multiplier will be. You get a one-time multiplier Vanguard rank earned for getting points below 30k. The multiplier increases every 5k after the initial 30k. The largest multiplier variable is 7 times over. So then, do we still have our rank? Do we still have our Vanguard rank? This applies to all Vanguard mode, including Nightfalls. So do we still get the streak going? Can we get the streak and the multiplier? Maybe they'll answer that later. Vanguard challenges. The Vanguard screen challenge are being adjusted to reflect these changes. To complete the weekly Vanguard challenge, you will need to complete Vanguard activities with a surgeon subclass. So we can't play the game the way that we want, which is fine. It can be either the seasonal surges for Nightfalls or the Vanguard Ops weekly surge. Complete 5 activities. You get increased progress for harder difficulties. A single Grandmaster Nightfall completes this challenge. Yay. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Now, my question is, are GMs going to be available right off the start? Because that would be nice, you know? Instead of just having 6 weeks of Grandmasters, maybe we can just have it from the start. So then when people want adept weapons, they don't just have 1 week to get it. They can, like, have the whole season, maybe. You know, like GM's coming out the 7th week of a season is kind of just, I don't know. Nightfalls are dark and full of terrors. Nightfalls, again, a tad more challenging, to the point where you have to think twice before jumping into one without a proper build. Take one thing into consideration. Once you reach the maximum effectiveness level, how high your power level is will make a difference. Yes, that is the issue. Why am I playing a game that wants us to go after power and pinnacle when it won't make a difference? What's the point of artifact power being unlimited if there's no point in difference? Oh, and then the next line says, or how many extra artifact levels you have for that matter. So why do we have? I just want to know why are we even grinding levels if you're just going to put us low? Battlegrounds will slowly become part of the Nightfall playlist. Yes, I know. I'll probably watch a movie when I'm doing a Battleground because it's going to take that long. We'll include others in the following season, but the Mars Heist Battleground is coming. 2 surges available. Threat depend on the feature Nightfall. 1 feature overcharge weapon. Combatants are harder to stagger and have more health. Nightfall activities level for season 20. Hero 1770, Legend 1830, Master 1840. Grandmaster 1840. Here's another thing I want to know. XP in game. I would normally, talk about like, hey, XP. If I do a hero, if I'm getting 1,000 XP or whatever, 10,000 XP for completing this, Legend should be higher. I should be getting 20,000 XP for this. Master should be 40,000. Grandmaster should be 200,000. Right? As it goes up. But the main question is the loot going to be worth it? Because you're basically reusing strikes that we had. You're making all this stuff harder, but is the loot gonna be worth it? I'm seeing how this game is gonna be hard or be made hard apparently, but where's the loot? Is the loot that I'm gonna spend a few 100 hours grinding for, is it gonna be nerfed the next season because someone complained that it was too good? Right? Even though we're being beaten down and our light levels is going back down, right? Someone out of nowhere is gonna say, oh man, this is too strong. Are we going to start playing Destiny with our bare hands? You know what I'm saying? I'm just go in there and just smack the crap out of a champion. Like, hey, champion, this is all I got. Apparently, all my abilities are too strong. It's a power fantasy game. Why am I losing so much power? Power delta disadvantages. Hero, -5. Legend, -15. Master, minus 20. Grandmaster, minus 25. But I read this already. Maximum effectiveness target, 1765, 1815, 1820, 1815. Bungie, we know how to do math, bro. But it's okay. We'll read it. The Nightfall Weekly Challenge now requires you to attain 200,000 points across multiple Nightfall runs, rather than 100k in a single run. Okay, you're trying to get playtime up. Raids and dungeons get the power delta treatment. We know the massive difficulty for dungeons and raids had its flaws, so we're making a few changes that are looking for a challenge should certainly find appealing. 1 overcharged weapon, 2 surges, no threat modifier. Combatants don't have increased health or increased stagger resistance. We want to bring them into line with other master experiences without the need to build crap towards surges or overcharges. No activities left behind. We're aware that lost sectors and weekly campaign missions are not as rewarding as the community would like. We actually agree. Same thing with Dares of Returning in the Wellspring. The passion around them is appreciated and your feedback is always clear. They should be a bit more challenging. Here are our plans to improve not only them but other activities too. Okay, this looks like a copy and paste of overcharged weapons, surges, and threats. It says here, we are aware that lost sectors and weekly campaign missions are not as rewarding. But then it says we're going to make it more challenging. How is that rewarding me by making it more challenging? Maybe I'm going crazy. I just want to know what the loot is. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm going into a lost sector and I have all these modifiers and the exotics aren't dropping like that, why am I doing it? Threat dependent on the feature lost sector, combatants are harder to stagger and have more health. Available in legend and master difficulties. Lost sector feature plus 20 combat delta rather than minus 15 or 20. We'll be monitoring completion rate and times during season 20 to see if exotic engram drop rates need to be adjusted. There will be additional paths to acquiring Nightfall exotic armor that you can discover in 228. Are you telling me that everyone that's been playing this game for how long that's been doing lost sectors, Bungie, you don't have that info just to see what the drop rate is? Because some days the drop rate is good and some days the drop rate is terrible, man. Whether you're doing Legend or Masters. Nightmare, Empire Hunts, and Campaign Weekly Missions. Empire Hunts. I forgot about those. Okay, so it's basically the same thing. 1 overcharged weapon, 2 weekly rotating surges, threat dependent on that type of activity. Commands are hard to stagger, have more health. 3 difficulty settings available. -5, -15, and -20. There's a returning Wellspring, 2 rotating overcharged weapons, weekly rotating surges, 1 threat. Commands are harder to stagger and have more health. Available in Legend difficulty on Dares of Returning and Master difficulty on Wellspring. Extinguish activate on Master. Teams can wipe on a time limit if an objective is failed. Seasonal background playlist. Shared difficulty power settings for Season 19 Highest Battlegrounds. Weekly rotating surge. Rotating threats, no overcharged weapons. Combatants have a reduced health scaling and reduced stagger resistance. As we said, Nightfall in the Year Ahead article, all the variety in the world would not matter if the content itself was not engaging and interesting. In other words, there's no substitute for a good challenge. With all these changes coming to activities, we hope we're able to reignite the assignment for some of your favorite content in the game. Only 7 more days to go until you can test all this for yourself in Nightfall. As much as, you know, we're getting on the level, whatever, I don't care. I mean, I do GMs all the time. My issue is the loot going to be worth it? It seems like they just want to get you to sink into the game with time. Like Battlegrounds being GM, time. You doing the 200,000 for your pinnacle or your powerful, whatever it is, time. You leveling up just to feel underpowered, time. You leveling up the artifact, time. And it's funny how it says it doesn't really matter much. Like, it basically just said your power didn't really matter much. They spoke about Season of the Deep, Season 21, how leveling is going to work. Maybe they can take some of that out. Don't have us leveling and doing all this craziness if you're just going to make us weak. You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, that's it for this review. If you like this kind of content, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button. You can find me at twitch.tv/Ekuegan. And yeah, I'm out. Deuces.